and welcome to another episode of Blender, here with myself, Dimondez MC, and I'm here today, and we're going to finish off the awesome M4 in Blender. Now, if you haven't seen the last episodes on how to make it, make sure to check them out. This is just a tutorial. This episode is on how to add colour to it. It's going to be awesome, and textures. So yeah, it's going to be super cool. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Please comment on stuff that you may want me to do in Blender or in Minecraft. I don't mind which. And yeah, enjoy the video. So now I'm actually gonna make this down here. So if at the moment we're looking at it from as if it were non-textured or anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to the viewpoint shading, and it's next to the object mode thing and all the other things, and we want to go on to material. So now we have the materials up. This is what it looks like. This is actually what it looks like. You may not think it looks that nice at the moment, but it's all white, and we don't want it to be like that. We want it to be M4A4 coloured and maybe have a texture. So I'm going to start off with the basics. So what we want to do is we want to go into, instead of being in default, which is what we are, we want to go into composing. Now this will bring us into this screen. We also want to make this into material, and we'll have an image viewer. We'll have the camera, the thing from the camera's point of view, and we'll have the nodes. And what we want to do is we want to go into here, click at the moment it's on the scene. We want to click materials and click new materials, add a material, but we can't do that because we need to select something. So what I'm going to do is on here I'm going to select this. I'm going to select this main thing plus no, I'm going to select this plus this back bit here. Actually no, I'm not going to have that back bit. I'm just going to have that. So then I want to click new, and this was what it'll come up with. It'll come up with two nodes. We can also have a look up here, and I like to have the preview, and we want to go into materials and then preview, and this is what it will look like. So I don't want this, so I'm literally going to click delete, and it's going to have nothing. It's just going to turn black, obviously. And we want to do add, and we want a texture, an image texture, because I'm going to have an image onto this. I've got image here, and it's going to be shoulder rest, open image, and we want to drag, we want to get this, we want to add shader, diffuse, BSDF, we want to go put the colour into this, alpha into roughness, and the BSDF into surface and volume. And then we want to maybe put this, I'm just going to experiment. What does that do? No, we don't want that. If we hold control and drag, it will cut the line. But anyway, now if we have a look at this, it will be that nice texture. So now if we hit F12 and render it, it will quickly render it. And we have a problem, as you can see, you can't see the pattern at all. It's like that's meant to be the pattern. Maybe just get a plane. That's meant to be the pattern, and all we're seeing is this green mess. So what we want to do is we want to go into UV image editor, which we are already in. We want to click this object. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? It's usually here. No. No. Oh, it might be. No. Shift P. Nope. No. Well, I can't remember actually. I'll see you guys. And welcome back. I have completed the back bit here. I've diversified it a bit. Yeah, so it isn't all the same pattern. I've moved quite a few stuff around, and yeah, so I think that is looking pretty cool so far. So now what I want to do is I want to get onto the main body and use a texture for that, and yeah, that'll be awesome. So yeah, we want to hit escape on that, and then what we want to do is we want to go select the main body, which is what I've just done. If I hit if I hit A on that, and if I hit okay, I'm just gonna make this solid mode for a minute so I can see all the stuff, what's meant to be what. And if I scroll across, so here, the main body is here, plus I'm going to add the trigger bit in with it as well, but I can't do that, I'm afraid. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make hold shift, object, and then we're going to do join. You can also do control J, but I do that, join. And these are the objects you want to be the same colour. I also want this thing here to be the same colour as this. So I'm going to do control J, and that will join both the objects, and therefore it will be all the same object. So now if I hit A twice, we'll go like that. What I want to do now is I want to go mesh, UV unwrap, unwrap, and we'll have this here. We can leave that to later until we've got an actual image. So what I want to do now is we're on object, we're on this thing here. So on materials, add new material. So now it has a thing. We want to go back into material mode, and then we want to keep this here. This time I failed last time. Waha. We want to go texture, image texture, and we'll go here, open main body. Now here we're going to go the color, roughness, and we're also going to do volume there. And also, as I think it's a bit too dark. I'm going to see if I can find something like add search bright contrast. Here we are. So if we can put this right there, and then if we hold control, cut that, move that into contrast, as you know. Yeah, we want to put that back into there so it's the same roughness. And if we move this out the way, we want to go turn the brightness up a bit. So what I want to do is 0.05 should be enough, and then contrast, I'm going to make it go up quite a bit for this part. Not too much though. And then if I hold control, break them, we have that. So now what we can do is we can zoom out slightly. We can do Shift A, that's the shortcut to get something, and we want a shader, and we want mix shader, and we want to do Shift D on this, and then we'll have this. So now we have that, we have the mix shader which is going in the middle there, and we're going to have another colour going into it. So we're going to have that going to there, have that going to there. So here we have our nice colours, and then the colour is going to be nice light green. It's going to go brightness, if I can, there, that is good. And now, because you can hardly see the pattern, I want you to see mostly the pattern. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make it scroll this down a bit so that we can mostly see the pattern. but also have some of the green in there. So yeah, I think that is good. And then the pattern here is also looking really nice on these. If I scroll across here, yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. So now, yeah, that's done. So we can hit A on that. And now, if we just hit A on this, we have this cut pattern, but I want the main body, and I want to hit A on this again. So now this will be that, and hit A on this. We're gonna scale it all down. So we don't really want it to be that big, and we don't want to be that guy who makes everything super giant. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to do the same thing as I did here, diversify it a bit, because at the moment they're all the same texture, all the same part. So I'm just going to like quickly just you know, change things with this. And also, as you can see with this image, I have diversified the whole thing a bit, so it isn't all the same image. And if we quickly render that, we can see that the finished result is super cool. I think that it is really good. And yeah, this back bit here though, I think the image is slightly too bright to go with the rest of the design. So I'm quickly gonna click this, if I can go tab, click that, click escape. Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to add in something in between here. I want to add in that, what is it, the bright contrast thing. So here we have the colour, obviously, and the colour goes into there, and we have the alpha going into the roughness, which is nice. And then what we have now is the contrast. I feel that it's too white, so if we turn the contrast up quite a lot, then it will look cooler. Maybe not too bright like that, but and then turn the brightness down like that. Therefore, we will have some kind of awesome, cool pattern that's just there. It's just too cool to be true. And yeah, we'll have that awesome pattern right at the back. Just adding this bright contrast thing, brightness and contrast thing, just makes the whole thing just really nice. So yeah, I'm gonna Control S that. So it's saved now. So now if we render it, these two colours should be more similar rather than it being too bright. So yeah, that's better than it was, because before that was a bit too white, and yeah, it contrasted a bit with this, and we want it to all fit in nicely together. So now we've done that, what I want to do is, there's nothing else really to do with texturing. It's mainly to do with the main body, and the gun is just going to be kind of like greyish kind of thing. So what I want to do is I want to see all that is just one big thing. I want this, and if I shift click here, I'm going to go back into default so you can see. I shift click that, and I also want to shift click the handle, and I want to go Control J, and that should have made them, each and every one of them, not the same object. I also want to shift click that one, and yeah, Control J that. So now all that is one colour. This is a much simpler way of doing it without adding any images. Just go right into here, add new image, add new texture, just add a few of these, and I want to have, let's say, a dark green for the M4. That'll go quite nicely with any other colour. And now I want it to have a roughness, and if I want to use nodes, I actually do, because it is just kind of annoying not having nodes. It's just going to be one flat colour. We don't want that. So I'm actually going to have it so that we're going to go decomposing. We're going to go into nodes, and with this one it's going to be kind of shiny but not shiny at the same time. So what I'm actually going to do is it's going to be shader glossy, and what this will be is we'll have a mix in between here. So we want shader, mix shader, and we want here this one. So now it's glossy, but it's also not too green enough. So I want it to be like this, but this is what it will look like. I want it to actually go darker, like that. Maybe a slightly bit lighter, but not too much lighter than that. And I want to have it to have a high roughness, so it will still reflect slightly, but it won't reflect too much, if you get what I mean. And then maybe I could delete this one, actually, delete that, and just have this going into that, because it's just a colour really. I'm going to actually make it darker, maybe even nearly black, but I think that is good. So now if we render this, we have a kind of shiny-ish gun. I'm actually kind of half wanting to make it even darker. Reason being, I don't think an M4 would really be that green. Yeah, that's much nicer than it was. So now it's green, and all we have left now is to do this. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to shift click it with these, Control J, and now they're all joined. That if we render that out, it'll just make the appearance slightly nicer. And now we're going to have the magazine holder and the actual magazine. I'm going to do the magazine holder first. And so that we're going to select the magazine holder and this bit here and this bit here. Oh dear, no, not that. Select that bit, and we're going to do Control J, and that's all joined one everything. So we're going to add a new thing, and yeah. So we've added a new thing, a new node or material. And we're actually going to do the same thing as this, delete that, add shader, and this time, should I make, I want to have a hair one. I don't know what hair is. Let's have a look. Oh, it has this weird kind of texture thing. I don't like it. No, delete. Add, yeah, let's just have a, where is it? Glossy. Here it is. So we're going to have glossy, and this time we're going to make it go into there. We're going to also make it have a high roughness. We'll make it have a slightly higher one. And I want the colour to be green, but super dark, almost black. Almost black. So now if we hit F12, we have a really nice looking thing there. And then for the last thing, which is the magazine, I'm just going to select that, click escape, new material, and I'm going to go add shader, glossy, delete that, make this go into here, make the roughness. I don't want it too rough, this one. I kind of want it half reflective. I'm going to make it 0.6, like this bit up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a nice kind of lime green. Yeah. As you know, I don't know what colour it really should be. I think it should be quite dark, actually, going with the theme. maybe that. What's happened? Yeah, that colour. And now if we do the final render, we have our awesome gun. So now I'm going to give you guys some rendering tips on how to actually get your image with a background, with everything. And this is going to be the actual finished design of the thing, and it's going to be the thumbnail of the video, and you're going to love it. So yeah, I'm going to tell you guys how to add the background and make it more HD. Yeah, and how to render it faster, stuff like that. So considering we're done with that, we can go back into default. And what I'm going to do is, if we get camera, I want the camera to do Shift F, and we can move the camera around. And it's unfortunate it has this background at the back of it. I could probably get rid of the background image now, but I kind of want to go down slightly, go down even more. Maybe have the gun like that. So that's pretty cool now. So now if I hit 0, 0, that's the angle, hit F12, and we're rendering at that angle now. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. What I want to do now is the lighting. I've already got two suns in here at slightly different angles. I'm going to change this angle to an even more peculiar one, which is like that. And also do a I'm going to add a light. Where is it? Lamp point. And what I want to do is I want to stick this underneath. So whenever we have this, it's going to look nice. So hit F12. Where's the light gone? Meant to have the light underneath. It's meant to be nice, kind of underneath kind of thing. Hit F12 again. Let's see if that works a bit more. Yeah, so that's looking quite nice. Maybe make it even lighter. Bounces, strength, 120. Ooh, that's going to be bright. Now maybe even 140-ish. Yes, that's much nicer than it was. So there we have the actual gun, and now we press 0, and what we want to do is I'm going to get rid of that background image. So N, click X on that. Now there's no background image anymore. We can get rid of that horrible thing, and we'll hit 0 again. We want to do Shift A, plane. We want to do RY90, and then we want to move it like this. We want to hit R, and then we want to hit Z, and then what I want to do is I want to make it kind of in line with the camera almost. It's like that. So now it's like a backdrop, and then I want to hit G, move it back here, and I want to scale it up really big, like that. So now if we hit 0 again, and if we render, we will have a nice background to the gun. But it isn't the best background at all, but I want to add something to it. So we need to change the material. And what I want to do is I want to quickly get an image, and we can put it behind it, maybe of something cool. I don't know. I think we should leave it as a plain colour actually. So what I want to do is hit escape on that, hit 0, and we go into nodes again. New material, and colour. It's going to have a nice slight blue to the sky kind of texture. And then I want to add shader. Where is it? This one. And anisotropic. That's also gonna go in there. So if we, no, I don't want that one actually. No, that's a bit weird. I'm gonna keep the blue in there for a minute or two because that's looking pretty nice. I would say if we render that out. Yeah, it looks nice. Actually, no, I don't like it that much. So, anyway, add. Trying to think which one was it. In the shader, might be velvet. Ambient occlusion. Make it ever so slightly blue this time. I don't really want it too blue. Ooh, yes, that's nice. Okay, so if I hit F12 now, the ambient occlusion is looking much nicer than it would do normally. So yeah, that's looking cool now. And yeah, so I like that. Let's delete this. Just added the ambient occlusion, make that go to volume as well. Ooh, yes. So now we have our nice image of an M4A4, and we're gonna, and we have, that's very nice. Yeah, so we have that. It's very nice. So now, yeah, that's good. And now it's the rendering tips. So the rendering is you want to, first of all, there's an output. You want to set your output to the place you want to do it. So I've got thumbnails somewhere. Where's thumbnails? I've got a folder. It'll be on desktop. I have thumbnails, YouTube thumbnails. Here we are. And I'm just gonna accept, and it will place them in there. Next, we want it to be either PNG or JPEG. I like PNG as you can compress the file. I like to put it up at 100% because what happens is on YouTube you have a limited amount of file size, and if you put compression on 0 or have it a different thing, the file size is slightly different. So anyway, you want to have it on animation. Now with frame, with this wise, animation, if I go to default, it's just going to be all of these frames, and we don't want all of these frames, so we're going to go on 0 and make that go to 0, and then just one frame, and it only needs to render one frame. Now, performance. We want to go here, performance. Instead of 64, we want 100, as it actually works better rather than the 64. 128, 128, because it's slightly bigger, and then actually the bigger it is, the faster it will load, apparently. So I don't know why it does this. It just makes them bigger, and it loads faster. Not too big though. If it's the whole thing, it will just crash. And then we want to set the size of this. So what I actually want to do is I'm going to just quickly grab a calculator and make it so that, yes, quickly grab a calculator. So I have my calculator here, and I want to times them by enough to be a nice big size of a YouTube video. So I'm going to say, let's say, let's times it by 3. So 1920 times 3 equals 5,760. So that's quite a lot of pixels. 5,760. And here we want to do 1080 times 3, 3,240. 3240. And there we have our new size of a camera, and it's more HD. So now what we want to do is we want to click animation, and what it'll do is it'll render the animation, and yeah, it'll just post it into that file, and then after that it'll just be thank you all guys for watching, really. So it's nearly done. Look at that high quality compared with the other one. It's just so much better. So anyway, that's looking so nice there. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. And if we go back here, this is just looking really nice now. It's the difference between the normal and the reflective is that this actually comes out as a kind of different, has like slightly metallic, and that's what I kind of love about it. It's slightly metallic, making it really nice, and yeah, this is looking so much nicer than I first anticipated, and this will be the YouTube thumbnail, and it's looking very, very nice. Wow, that HD though. Ah, so many pixels. You go into the pixel standards, that's just one pixel, and you zoom out, you think, oh, that's a nice pattern. Oh, that's looking even nicer. And then we have the gun, which is just too OP. So yeah, that is it finished, and I hope you guys for watching. I thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check out other content, subscribe if you already haven't, and yeah, that will be super cool if you could do that. It's just compressing right now. Yeah, so yeah, thank you guys for, oh, it's finished now because it comes up with a thing there. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Make sure to check out all the previous episodes, and thank you for watching this awesome series that I've finally finished. Thank you, and see you in another episode.